So in our last session, we have seen that introduction of this SSIS designer. This is the basic environment of all SSIS packages creation. Okay. So I request you to mute yourself, all of you, please. Okay, so this is the SSIS designer environment. Okay, so now as of now we have not even created any package to load the data from source to destination. Okay, now earlier we have loaded the data from this source file to a SQL Server destination table. Okay, select a star from source file. Okay, so this is the data what we have loaded into the table. Okay, exclusively. Now what I'm going to tell you, so I'm going to load the data, and we have loaded this data based on the wizard, SSIS wizard, not with the SSIS designer. Okay, now I want to load the data using SSIS designer because it is a more of developer tool. Okay, so whatever the activities that we are doing towards MSBI, so that we are implementing with this environment only. This is SQL Server Data Tools environment, comes along with the SQL Server 2012 software. Okay, so now here what I'm trying to do, I want to load the data from a source flat file to a SQL Server destination table. Why? Because so SSIS main purpose is data loading. Okay, so for that reason, so instead of SSIS wizard process, I want to go ahead with the SSIS designer process. Okay, so this is the SS designer. Now where to start, with what component we need to start that data loading process? First of all, understand the requirement as I said earlier. Okay, in order to work with the BA, first of all you should have the clear understanding about the requirements. My requirement is nothing but what I want you to load the data from a flat file. I mean, notepad file is nothing but, technically we can call it as a flat file. Okay, so I want to load the data from a flat file to a SQL Server destination table. Okay, so in order to load this data, I want to design some process. Okay, so which kind of a task will support you to perform this operation in the control flow? See, data flow task. Why? Because in our early session, so I have explained, so whatever the concept, whatever the task that you are going to work on in this SSIS package, so you must have the knowledge why you are going to use that. Okay, so why I'm going to use the data flow task only here? Because I want to load the data from a data flow from a flat file to a SQL Server table. So this process is called what? Data loading. Okay, since the process is data loading, so I must use the data flow task. If it is another work, I can use another task. Okay, so data flow task I have dragged. I mean, this is the first step to start your data loading process. So data flow task will help you to load the data from a source flat file to destination SQL Server table. Now, so how to start, how to initiate that process? So you can just right click here, click on edit, or else you can directly double click. Now you will be redirected to data flow area. Now this is the environment, so where you are going to configure the source and destination. Okay, now that will help you to load the data. Okay, now go to SS toolbox. So what we need to take in the sources option, flat file source. Okay, why? Because we are getting the data from the flat file only now. That is the reason, flat file source. Now open this, or else you can double click edit, whatever it is. Okay, so double click is a more convenient operation. Okay, see, look at here, I want to show you another thing. Connection managers. Do we have any connection managers here? First of all, no, we don't have any connection managers. Okay, now open this. So flat file connection manager, since we don't have any connection managers, so that will not be visible here. Okay, that will not be visible here. Click on new. Okay, so flat file connection manager. Okay, so here you can see SSIS manager, SSIS connection manager for flat files. So what you mean by this? So what you mean by this SSIS connection manager for flat file? That is a connection manager, that connection component. So which will indicate that to which source you have connected and which destination you have connected. Okay, so that is the reason you can see SSIS connection manager for flat files. That is the name by default will be given by the Microsoft. Okay, not you have defined. Okay, so if you want to define the connection manager, it will be having some proper standards. So what is the standard? See, why I have given the name like this? This is the based on the standard or format. Okay, so first of all, I have declared it's a source. Okay, so what is it? It's a source. Source flat file connection manager. So I want to understand, I want to provide a generic name of the connection manager which will be understandable to any person who is going to access this package. Okay, so that is the reason source. First of all, I have declared that whether it is a source or destination by giving this word called source. Okay, and then what type of source it is? It is flat file source. Okay, it's a flat file source, and this is nothing but what? Connection manager. Okay, that is the reason source flat file connection manager. Okay, so first of all, whether we need to confirm whether it is a source or destination. After confirming whether it is a source or destination, what type of source or what type of destination we need to confirm. Okay, that is the reason I have given this particular name. Okay, now where is the source file? Click on browse. Go to desktop. Open. Okay, now see, by default column names in the first data row. Okay, column names in the first data row. Okay, all the columns are properly covered. Now click on OK. Go to columns. Everything is okay, and go to error output. Now see, error output. What you mean by this error output? So you have considered a flat file as a source. Okay, that means what? You are trying to get the data from a flat file. So in this process, at any situation, if the data is not coming properly, so that will be given to the error outputs. Okay, error, I mean not coming properly in the sense if the data is not compatible with the data types, or if the data is having any special symbols, any type of issues. Okay, any type of data issues, so that can be send it to error output. Error output will handle those issues in three ways. Okay, one is ignore failure. First one is ignore failure. Okay, so it is not a by default option. Ignore failure means, so those kind of issues or warnings will be ignored. And then redirect row. So whenever you are getting such kind of data, so we can have the option called redirect row. We can send the data to another component. That means we need to maintain another destination in order to load that error data. Okay, so and then fail component. Okay, fail component is the by default option for all the tasks in SSIS. Okay, so whenever is there any issue in the data, automatically this will fail the component. Which component? Source component. Entire source component, it cannot be retrieve the data from the source file. Okay, so these are the options. Okay, just to click on now. So our source was properly configured. Okay, earlier once you have taken this particular source, so it was displayed like this. See, what is the difference between this component and this component? It is having that red color symbol. Okay, it is having that red color symbol or that red color dot. That means what? There are two reasons for this red color. One is incomplete. Okay, first one is that is not incomplete. Okay, that is not completed as of now. And then another one is incorrect. Okay, either it is incompleted or it is incorrect. Okay, in these two situations only this will be available. This will show that red color icon. In other situations it will not show that red color icon to you. Okay, so once you have configured properly, the red mark will be gone. Okay, so I will show you with the destination component, then you can understand very clearly. So after the source configuration is done, what we need to do? We need to do the destination component configuration. Then OLEDB destination. Okay, what is this? OLEDB destination. See why this particular red color icon here? Because it is not properly configured. Because it is not properly configured. So because it is not yet configured as of just now we have taken. Okay, so it is showing the red color icon. So if you want to configure this one, we must provide a source. Then only destination will be understand from where it is getting the data. Okay, so that is the reason. See this one. So there are two arrows coming from this component. Okay, two arrows. One is a blue color, another one is a red color. So which arrow I need to take? So who will decide that? It is very simple. If you see the red color component, that is nothing but what? That is error related information. So if you want to store that error related information in any file, take this red color. Otherwise, if you want to see that original data, okay, if you want to have the actual data, take this blue color. Okay, so remember in SSIS, blue color always indicates the data flow. Okay, so traveling the data from one component to another component, and there is another color arrow. See, green color. Okay, this is what color? Green color. This is process flow. Okay, so this is one task. There is if I will add another task, if you want to connect to this two, you can use this one. Okay, so this green color indicates the process flow and blue color indicates what? Data flow. Okay, actual data will be traveling from one place to another place. Okay, now OLEDB destination, open this one. Okay, so we need to configure the destination place or destination server in order to load the data. Am I right? Now in this particular situation, what I'm going to do, OLEDB connection manager. What is that? OLEDB connection manager. Okay, now so do we have any existing connection managers? No. Can you see any existing connection managers? No. So we must tell where we want to load this data. Okay, we must tell where you want to load this particular data. Okay, that is the reason. Just click on new. Okay, so this is the server. Sorry, the server is not available here. Okay, so what you can do, just click on new. And if you feel these are the what are these two things, these are the recent connections that I have made. Okay, suppose if you feel any one of these connection is not required here, what you can do, just select this one, click on delete. Okay, if it is not required, if it is required, keep it there. Okay, if it is not required, delete that one. Sorry, this is not the one. Click on new. What is the server name? My server name is new user. Okay, and what is the database name? Database name is 7:30 a.m. Okay, just click on test connection. See, test connection is just to validate whether our connection process is correct or not. Okay, and then click on OK, and then it is already selected here. Click on OK. Now that's it. There ends the process. Now, so data access mode. Okay, table or view. I mean, if you want to load the data to table or view, you can just select this component. Okay, now table or view. Okay, now to which table you want to load the data. Okay, to which table you want to load the data. So you are getting some data. Okay, you are getting some data. So to which table you want to load the data? I mean, did you create any table? So is the table is already available in the server? No, we have not created a table. We have not created any table, and there is no any table available in the database. In this case, so what you will do, you will go to SQL Server, create table, and then come back and then load the data. No, that is not. That is a lengthy process actually. Okay, that is a lengthy process. So instead of doing this, okay, instead of that is actually recommended. That is actually recommended when we are loading the standard data. Okay, if the data is having a particular format which is a very standard, okay, and it is a regular loading, then we can go to SQL Server, create the table and start loading process. That is a separate part. Okay, so sometimes so we may not have the table in our database to accommodate this particular data. Okay, so in this situation, at this situation, how you will load the data? See, that is the reason SSIS and Microsoft has provided a beautiful option, this one, new. Okay, so if you will click on new, what will happen? So it will provide a sample structure to you. Okay, it will provide a sample table structure to you. So columns are same. I don't see the new tab here. Where in your system? So parallelly you are doing in your system also.
Yes, Narendra.
Yeah. So maybe you have taken OLEDB source.
Actually, I thought you.
No, actually, I will tell you the reason. Maybe you have taken this one, OLEDB source you have taken. So take OLEDB
No.
destination.
It shows OLEDB destination.
Really? 1 minute, 1 minute, then 1 minute. Can you show me your screen, please? Can I give the presenter access?
Okay.
Yeah. You are the presenter now. Can you please show me?
Do you see it now?
No. You need to click on show my screen. Yep. Close this one.
Yeah, I did that.
Close this one. Why is it not coming?
Okay.
Can you close this one, please?
This one?
Yep. See, you have not configured the source right.
Okay.
You have created the you have connected the two components, but from source side nothing is coming.
Oh yeah, actually, you know what? I have actually. I thought you did this yesterday. So from the documents, I tried doing that.
Okay, it is very simple. It is very simple. Take a notepad file. So name, write name, comma, age, comma, gender. Yeah, whatever. It's up to you.
Yeah, I actually created one.
Yeah, if you have already created one, then it will be fine.
Yeah, but earlier also, Narendra, when I was trying to do this, I did not get that.
Okay.
The new tab.
We will see. Sample flat file. Okay. ID name is okay. Fine. We can go ahead with this. Yeah. So go to package. SS package. Take a new their connection manager. New. No. Don't close. See, flat file connection manager. Just beside to the flat file connection manager, there is option.
Okay.
Yeah. Take new. Okay. You can give the file here.
Okay.
Go to documents and give the file. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Go to columns once. Okay, fine. Click on OK. Okay. Then go to OLEDB destination. See, there you go.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Unless and until you will not give source, destination will not be identified.
All right. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, that's okay. I'm taking the presenter access. See, so what we can do is, since I don't have any table, so what I want to do is I want to go ahead with the new option. So what is this new option? This new option will closely interact with the source component. Okay, and it will give you a sample structure. It is just a sample structure. Why? Because why I'm calling it as a sample structure? Because it is giving the table name with the OLEDB destination. And one more thing, see, look at the columns: name, age, and gender. So what are the columns in the source file? Name, age, gender. Whatever the columns that are available in the source, same columns will be given here. But the data types are unique data types. I mean global data types. That is varchar. Okay. So why only varchar? Because varchar can accommodate any type of data. Okay, and the table name is OLEDB destination like this. Okay, you can just take the destination whatever you want to do. Okay, source file destination, I'm taking like this. Okay, you can change, not a problem. Okay, so and then click on OK. Now go to mappings. This is very, very important, guys. Mappings is always important. Okay, so go to mappings. You can see which source column has connected to which destination column. Okay, so input column source name, destination column name, age, gender. That means what? All the mappings were properly done. Now just click on connection manager, then click on OK. That's it. Okay, so source properly configured and destination properly configured. Now let us execute the package. See how many rows has transferred? 40 rows. Okay, see, look at here, 40 rows. How the components were executed? See, having with this green color circle on the top. So what is that table? Source file destination. Okay, so once after loading the data, please verify each and every row. I mean, if it is a less amount of data, if it is a lakhs and lakhs, then it will be different case. Okay, so all the data was properly as loaded into the table successfully. Okay, and now we have loaded the data. Now let us come to the difference between wizard created process and the SSS designer created process. See, is there any difference between the tables of the source file and source file destination? Source file is nothing but wizard one, and this is one designer one. Okay, SSS wizard. SS designer. Okay, now so what is the difference between these two tables which we have loaded, one with SSS wizard, another one with SSIS designer? Okay, what was the difference between these two components? Nothing. There is no difference between these two components. Okay, I mean these two tables which we have loaded even though separately. Okay, so so how efficient that designer package which you have created to load the data when you compare to wizard? Okay, I told you so many disadvantages that we are having with the wizard. So first of all, so multiple times we were unable to execute the package. Okay, multiple times we were unable to execute the package. Okay, so we have executed the package only one time, and when we were executing the package the second time, that day we got one error. Okay, so we will verify whether this designer package is allows us to execute the package more than one time. I mean multiple times, I could say. Okay, so that is the first thing that we need to verify. See, executed successfully. Okay, second time and third time. Okay, like this, if you keep on executing n number of times, it will allows you to execute, not a problem. Okay, that is nothing but what, like, you know, unlike with the wizard created process, SSIS designer package will allows you to execute the package n number of times without having any problem. So this is called dynamic way of the execution process of the SSIS package. Okay, now when you compare this particular feature with the wizard created package, absolutely designer package is very good. Okay, there is no doubt about it. Okay, but the thing is, so how many times you have executed this package? 3 times. Okay, 3 into 40, how many rows? 120 rows. Okay, 3 into 40, how many rows? 120 rows. So even though it is allowing you to execute the package n number of times, what about the data duplications and what about the data consistency? See, wizard created package, anyway it was not allowed you to execute multiple times. Okay, that is a different thing. That is the functionality problem. Okay, but SSS package, SS designer package is allowing you to execute multiple times. But where is the consistency? Where is the data consistency? Let us say, for example, see, if I will write like this, where name equal to Narendra. Okay, now execute. So how many records I'm getting? 3 records. Why 3 records? Is 3 records are different records? No, same records. Okay, so same name, same age, same gender. That means what? Data getting duplicated. That means what? That is the data integrity problem. Okay, so we can load the data at any time, but ultimately we should not have the data integrity problems. Okay, data integrity is nothing but what? That means data integrity is a technical word, but theoretically and in generally that is called quality. Okay, so this is not the good quality data. Okay, so we need to restrict these type of situations with some advanced approaches. Okay, now why this particular data has been duplicated in the table? Because we have executed the package multiple times. See, SSS listener packages will be executed multiple times. Okay, but it should not load the duplicates. Okay, so that is the reason. So we need to find out the solution how to overcome these duplicates. So first of all, think about why we are getting a duplicates. Because every time we are blindly loading the data. Okay, every time we are blindly loading the data. So we are not verifying the data is available or not, or else so we were not cleaning the table and loading the data. So because of these reasons, the data is getting duplicated. Okay, so what we can do in order to overcome the duplicates problems? See, there are multiple ways to handle this situation. Okay, but I will tell you one of the best solution, so which will be understandable at this initial stage. Okay, if you go to advanced level, you can have 2 to 3 solutions. Okay, but at the initial stage, we are at the starting stage of SSIS. Okay, so we should not look into all the advanced scenarios. It will confuse you. Okay, it will confuse with respect to different options in SSS. That is the reason I will show you very simple solution to overcome this problem. Okay, so go to this one, go to source file. So how many rows are there? There are totally 40 rows. Okay, so what we are doing, every time we are taking this data. Okay, every time we are taking this data by the source component and we are loading the data, but every time we were not verifying any data. So whatever the data that is available, that is loading into the table blindly. Okay, so none of these records got matched. I mean, none of these records not involved in the matching process and then loading into the data. So that is the reason data is getting duplicated. Okay, so in order to overcome these problems, okay, so we have 3 approaches. One is what? Incremental loading. Okay, one is what? Incremental loading. And then whatever it is, first one is incremental loading, and second one is what? Data matching and loading. Okay, data matching and loading. And third one is what? Truncate and loading. What are the options? Incremental loading, data matching and loading, and then truncate and loading. Okay, so what do you mean by incremental loading? First of all, see, along with this data, so what we need to have? We need to have a date field. Okay, we need to have a date field. Consider all this data is related to the customers, those who has done the transactions in my organization yesterday. Okay, so that is the reason. That is the reason. See, all the data was available yesterday. I have loaded this data. Okay, so today some other person has done some operations, I mean some transactions. So this data, when I'm going to load tomorrow, not today. Excuse me. Okay, this particular data I'm going to load tomorrow, not today. Okay, so when I'm going to load the data tomorrow, so I should not load the data yesterday, I should load the data today only. Why? Because whatever the recent added data, that data only we need to add, not the day before yesterday data, not so 2 days before yesterday data. Okay, so this is called incremental load. Whatever the data that has loaded after yesterday till tomorrow, so that data only we need to load. So that is called incremental load. That requires a lot of settings, and that requires a lot of configurations in SSS. Okay, that I will tell you in advanced process. Okay, so please remember me if I forgot this incremental loading process. So if I forgot, please remember me. So I will remember, but somehow I don't know, sometimes it will slip from my mind. Okay, if I will forget, please remember me. I will give you one example how to load the incremental loading process, data loading process. Okay, and another one is what? data matching and loading. So what you mean by matching? Matching means each and every records should get matched with the destination component. This is what source. Okay, and I have a 40 rows in the table. So 40 into 40, how many number of records? I mean, how many number of matching? So total 40 into 40, how much? I forgot the calculations. Oh yeah, 1600. So 1600 matchings will be done. Okay. So let us say, for example, forget about this scenario. So I have 100 records. Okay, where in the source file. So till yesterday I have 100 records. Okay, now what I'm going to do, today only 10 persons has done some transactions. Okay, so I want to load these 10. Okay, I want to load this 10. So already there are 100 records. I want to load these 10 records. Okay, in this data matching process, okay, in this data matching process, I need to verify each and every record with this 10 records. Why? Because so then only I can load the proper data. Okay, if there, I mean, proper data, and there's nothing but what. So if the record is available once again, so I don't want to load the data. That is called data matching and loading. So whatever the data that is not there, that data only I want to load. So if you want to know whether that record is there or not there, you must compare the data, right? Without comparing, we cannot understand. Okay, so that is the reason we need to compare each and every record with this 10 record. So 10 records we are going to match with 100 records. What is the total? 1000. That means what? So just understand the ratio. In order to load the 10 records, you are going to do 1000 matchings. Okay, so that is the really very costly one. Okay, see, it is a simple data, but in real time we are loading lakhs and lakhs of data. So at that time it will be really a problem, data matching and loading. That is the reason, even though this option is available, but no one will use this particular option. Okay, data matching and loading. And then what is the last option? Truncate and loading. Okay, so I explained truncate, incremental loading, theoretically data matching and loading, and these two are the not suitable for this particular scenario. Why? Because this is just a initial starting example with the SSIS. Okay, very first example with SSIS. I don't want you confused with all the other different options. Okay, now that is the reason I want to show you a very simple solution for this data duplication problem, that is called truncate and loading. So what you mean by truncate and loading? Truncate means we need to clean the table. Okay, truncate is nothing but what? We need to clean the table. So here this is called OLEDB destination. So every time which table I need to truncate? I need to truncate the destination table. Right now, how many records? 120 records. Okay, so every time whenever I'm loading the data into this table, so I must truncate the table and load the data. I mean, truncate means nothing but what? Cleaning. Okay, I must clean the destination table and load the data. Okay, so what is the destination table here? Source file destination. We need to clean this table. Cleaning means it's called truncating. So how to truncate this table? Truncate table. Excuse me. Truncate table, source file destination. So where I need to execute this particular command. Okay, so truncate table command where I need to execute. So actually it's a SQL command where we can execute in SQL only we can execute. Okay, see here there are two components. This truncate table command has to be executed in SQL, and package needs to be executed in SSIS. See how the consistency will come. Consistency in the sense in the process, not in the data. Okay, so every time if I want to execute this particular package, this particular data flow task, so I must dependent on SQL. I must dependent on SQL command that is called truncate table command. So how this will be possible? Okay, so I don't know when I'm going to execute this truncate table. So when I'm going to load the data using a data flow task. Okay, so I may go for the job scheduling also. Okay, so it is closely, that command, that process, the truncatable command will be closely associated with the package, then only it is possible. So but if I want to execute this command, I cannot execute directly this SQL commands in SSIS. How can I execute the SQL commands in SSIS? So this truncate table is a SQL command. Okay, this truncate table is nothing but what? SQL command. This command should be executed in SQL Server environment only. Okay, but in SSIS, how to execute the SQL commands, that is directly not possible. So that is the reason. So we have another task that is called execute SQL task. Okay, what is this component? Execute SQL task. What is the purpose of this component? The purpose of this particular component is this execute SQL task will allows you to execute SQL commands through SSIS. Okay, SSIS will not execute SQL commands in SSIS. SSIS will execute SQL commands in SQL environment. So how it will know the SQL environment? I mean, how it will know the server, database, credentials and all? So it will have the options. Okay, so it will have the options, all these options. So because of these options only, we can execute the SQL commands. Okay, so name of the execute SQL task, you can give whatever the name you want to give. Okay, it's not a problem. Okay, so for what purpose you are giving this one? Cleaning the table, right? You can write like this: cleaning destination table. Okay, so it is very good practice to write these definitions. Why? Because see, if you just represent this as an execute SQL task, so what they will understand, it's an execute SQL task, but they don't know what is the command that is executing, or what is the process that is the task is for. So if you write like this, cleaning destination table, that means what? This particular task will clean the destination table. Okay, that is the definition. People will understand like that. Okay, now how to configure this one? So connection type OLEDB. Connection, what is that connection? We have a connection with the destination MSBI 7. What is that command? So command we need to provide here. Okay, just click on that. Now, so why this particular arrow? Because I want to execute this task first and then this task. Okay, so what if happen if I will not give this one? We don't know. Either data flow task will be executed first and then a cleaning destination table will be executed next. Okay, that is not correct, right? If the after data loading, if the cleaning table will be executed, what is the purpose of loading? Nothing. Okay, the data should not be removed from the table after the data loading. So the data should be removed from the table before the data loading. If you don't give this one, that may happen or may not happen, but there are some chances to happen, right? That is the reason, don't take those type of chances. Okay, always create the dependency between the tasks. So your intention is to clean the table first and then load the data, right? So that is the reason. So first of all, this task has to be executed and then this task has to be executed. Now every time, first of all, cleaning table will be executed and then data will be loaded into the table, right? Then you can see. That's it. Okay, now earlier how many rows were there in the source file destination table? 120 rows. Okay, now how many rows? 40 rows. Okay, now execute another 2 times. Okay, second time, third time. Okay, so earlier also I have executed the package, same package 3 times. How many records I got? 120 records. Okay, now I will not get more than 40. Why? Because that is the cleaning and data loading process approach. Okay, so since we have followed this approach, there is no chance of duplicates. See, let us say for example, I'm going to add some of the data. Person 1 20 M, person 2 21 F, person 3 person 4 Okay. So I have added 5%. That means what? So in our source file, so additionally 5 people added because of their transaction. These 5 people has done the transaction. Now what I will do, if I will execute this package, so can I get those 5 records, additional 5 records, person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 into this table along with this 40 rows? Yes, you will see the data loaded. Go to data flow task, 46 rows. That means one null value will be added. Maybe I think so. Okay, 46 rows. Yes, one null value added. Okay, I will remove. 1 minute. If I will do enter, then it will take null value. Some empty spaces will make that additional row. Okay, now I'm going to stop it and I'm going to execute. See, 45 rows. Go to the table and verify. How many persons I have added? 5 persons. Person 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's it. So whenever the people are keep on adding to this particular source file, that data will be loaded into this table very carefully. Okay. So with this cleaning table and loading the data approach, so you may get, I mean you will get, not you may get, you will get either same data or updated data. That's it. There is no chance of duplicated data into the table if you follow this approach. Okay. That is for sure. Okay. So it is up to you. It is up to you which approach we need to follow in order to perform the data loading process. Data matching and loading will never be useful. I'm telling you. Incremental loading will be useful for sure. And this truncate and loading also will be extensively useful. Okay. Now, so the reason why I have explained this particular truncate and loading, not only this is the first package. So this is the very, very useful, I mean, very, very regularly applicable approach. Okay, so we are using very frequently this truncate table and loading. Okay, incremental loading in special cases we are using, not all the cases, in very, very special cases we are using, but still I will explain that one. Okay, so just as of now, please concentrate up to this and please get the knowledge over these concepts. Okay, so if you keep on going into the concepts, so I will show you all the possible scenarios. Okay, so this is what the total data loading process with the help of SSIS wizard. Okay, see, first of all, this package you can execute multiple times. Okay, so that is decided, and after that executing the packages also, if there is any issue is coming, that is able to resolve here itself. Okay, but with the wizard these options will not be provided to the users. Okay, and one more thing, so there are two things I have there are two problems I have explained you yesterday, I mean in our previous session with the wizard. One is multiple times package execution process, that is possible with SS designer, and then another one is ETL process. Okay, in this example also I have shown you only data loading, source and destination. I have not introduced transformations. Okay, see, as of now we have seen here L. Okay, T we have not yet started. Okay, why? Because this is my first package in SSIS. Okay, so I want to go step by step. Okay, I want to show you how to create a package, how to load the data, and how to overcome these problems. Then I will introduce transformations. Step by step we will go. Okay, so tomorrow I'm going to introduce the transformation, how to use the transformation. So what are the situations that will lead us to go to the transformations, and what are the different transformations that are available, how we can use each and every transformation with respect to business requirements. Okay, so these things I'm going to explain in tomorrow's session. Tomorrow's session is completely deals with the transformations. Excuse me. Okay, so this is what I just want to discuss with you for today's session. Anybody having any doubts for today's session, please let me know. I will clarify today itself. Any doubts to anybody?
No, Narendra, from my side.
I'm okay, Narendra.
Okay. Okay, fine.
One thing is like when can we install the software so that we can start working?
Yeah, actually there is another person who has joined us today.
Okay.